Hello, long time no see. So, uh, I have a game to show you, something I was working on and testing it on Tabletop Simulator, and it's basically finished. All tests proved to be really good. People are reacting pretty good on this game, so I decided why not? Let's make a video and let's show it. It's gonna be in the Steam Workshop anyway, very soon. So, what we have here is my first try at making a sports game. I never make one. I never made any of those. So this is a tennis game called Tennis Titans, and well, that's a for now the project name. Maybe it's gonna change. Who knows? It is a game for two players strictly, and these are all the components you can see here. We have player cards for male tennis players and 3 female tennis players that you can choose and play. We have tokens who's on serve, a ball token, little figurines that represents your tennis players, and the custom dice. These are used to track the score. Normally you would maybe can do this also with those little rotating trackers, but the dice are quite good for that too. Dice that player use, some tokens here called stamina and reflexes, and 36 cards. So that's all the components, and one board of course. And we have this token for mental power and few cubes. So not big, not too much components. One of those games that you can teach pretty quickly and play rather quickly, depending when you know what you're doing, it goes rather fast. So let me explain what's going on here, and let's start with the board. As you can see, it is a tennis court split on two sides, and it has marked spaces or sections from 1 to 3 here, from where you're serving, to 5 or 6 which are out of bounds. Those who know about tennis know how this works, and 4 that is basically these two sections. We have a scoreboard on the left side, we have a player mental power on the right side, and we have these little sections when you assign dice for your power and for court. The games setup for the game is quite simple. Both players gonna take their player figurines. They're gonna start here, court. Game points start on 0 for both players. You're gonna choose your tennis player. Let's say I take Novak Djokovic, and let's say the guy gets Rafael Nadal across. You take your dice. You're gonna get these game tokens that represent stamina and reflexes depending on this board. So it says I get these are the stamina ones, these are the reflexes. So I get basically 3 stamina and 2 reflexes. You're gonna take those. The other player is gonna do the same. He gets 3 reflexes and 2 stamina. Oops. Okay. And you also gonna get 4 cards in your hand, and the other player also gonna get 4 cards in his hand. Gonna place them there for now. Then you're gonna roll dice to see who's gonna be the first to serve. I got you take the combination of both dice, so I have a 3, so my opponent might get 4. So he's serving, he's gonna take the serve token, and he's gonna put the ball here. You always serve from here, and we are ready to start the game. It's quite quick to set up. So as in tennis, first to get 5 points, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 points actually. 15, 13, 14. He's gonna get a set point, and first who gets to the 6 set points wins the set. Then you go to the second set, and then you go to the third one. Best of 3 is the winner. Now let's talk about how you play the game. So starting from a guy who's serving, he's gonna roll 2 dice. And then he will assign them as the power, which is the strength of your, strike with your racket. And the other number chord is telling you where the ball's gonna fly. So if my opponent do something like this, he's hitting the ball with the power of 6 here directly toward me in this section number 1. Then I would have to roll my dice and return. And to do that, I need to have the power that is 1 less than this and everything above. So I need from 5 to 6. I would roll 2 dice. And here I have good power, as you can see. But if I roll these two, the ball's gonna either go to 5 or to 6. So whatever I do to assign these dice, I'm gonna make a mistake. I will not be able to return the serve, and my opponent will get 15 points. So this is where these little tokens come into play. I can use them. So I can use stamina to reroll 1 or both of my dice. Or I can use the reflexes to take 1 die and change it to any side I want. So I can do something like this. I can assign the 6 as my power. And I can use the reflex to turn this 5 into 4. And now I'm returning this ball across the net here in one of these 2 sections, and you'll see why is that good. So now my opponent has to run, basically move from here to here and to return the ball. The problem is that the moment he passes across these lines, he loses 1 power. So let's see what he's gonna roll. So in this case, he needs, like, if he rolls a 6, he will be fine, because if he goes here, the power is going to be 5, so he can still return, because remember, you need 1 lower and everything above, so he needs 5 to 6. But if he rolls anything by the 6, he will not be able to run there and return the ball. Let's see. He tried to do so. He actually can, so he will take the power of 6, court of 4. He will move here. This will turn into 5. Because he loses 1 power, and he will transfer this here. He managed to run there and return the ball back to me. Again, it's back and forth. You just roll the dice. That's not enough power. Like, even if I assign a 4, it's going to drop down to 3, and I need basically 4 or more. So again, I can use tokens, or I can just decide not, and white would get a point. We go to the starting location, balls go there, and he serves again. Now let's talk about some special things that can happen when you roll a doubles. If you're serving and you roll a natural double without affecting them with the tokens, that's an ace. You will immediately get the point. So if this guy rolls something like, let's say, 5 and 5, he gets an ace and a point. Simple as that. But if he serves, let's say he does something like 5-1, and I roll the doubles after he done his serve, I perfectly return the ball, and then I get an ace. So I get the points if I get something like, let's say, 2-4s. But it has to be rolled naturally. I cannot use my tokens to change my die and say, that's a double. Very important rule. All right. Now about these tokens, you will not, they are really scarce, and you will not replenish them until the second set. So we need to play all the 6 set points, and then when we get to the second set, you get these tokens back. So if you use them all really quickly, then you are basically on the whim of the dice. So you need to watch out for that. But this is where these cards come into play. let me show the cards. So these cards can be played in 3 different ways. And one way is if you are starting the set as the guy who's serving, you can bet one of these cards that you're gonna win the set point. So basically you're betting that you're gonna win the set point. You do that by taking one of these cards and placing them face up in front of you. Let's say I bet something like this. You immediately get the replacement for your card. Whenever you play the card or discard or whatever, you immediately get, you're always gonna have 4 cards in your hand. So what the betting means is I'm betting on this value here on the top right corner. And to show you these icons, I think this is a good spread of all icons. So this means mental power, which is this token. I can push mental power 2 spaces, as you can see here, 2 spaces toward my side. Having the mental power in this game is really will give you more options, and I'm gonna explain that really quickly. So I'm betting to get that. If I win the set and win the bet, I will be able to do this. Now here's the thing though. It is resolved like this. First you put the set that you won. Then every time you won a set by not using cards, just by rolling dice basically, you gonna automatically get 1 mental power push. So whenever you win a set points, you know, rolling just dice, you get automatic point push toward you. If I win a bet, I get 2 more. Now, if your mental power is maybe on 0, like in the middle or toward the enemy, and if you bet and lose, then your enemy is gonna get whatever you bet for. So you need to watch for that. But if I'm on neutral and I lose a bet, nothing happens. So only if the enemy has a mental power, and if I lose a bet, he also, instead of me, he will get whatever I want to bet. And only the guy who's serving can bet a card. So I cannot bet a card and my enemy bet a card. So that's one way you can use these cards. You're betting to win a set. So you probably want to do that when you will have some mental power or in a neutral, because then even if you lose a bet, nothing bad happens. The other way you can play cards, if you roll natural doubles, so no using tokens, during a game with not including the serving and returning the serve. So maybe we are like back and forth, and in the middle of that I roll doubles. Then I can immediately play one of these cards that has bottom part. Excluding these star cards, I'm going to explain how they work later on. So if I roll a doubles, I immediately play a card from my hand, I get a replacement. And again, depending on your mental power where it is, like if it's in neutral or your power has more mental, your opponent has more mental power, you can take only one of these rewards. But if it's on your side, you get both of them. And these are just 1 point, 1 normal points, like 15-0. Stamina tokens. Some of them can give you whole set point, but this one works a bit different. It says if mental power is on your side, this will happen. So you need to watch out when you want to play this one. Like if it's not on your side, it's going to do nothing for you. And let's see, is there anything else? I think those are all the icons you can see on the cards. All right, now let's talk about the third way you can play a card, and these are the ones with the star. These basically you can play anytime as long their conditions are met. So this one says play after your opponent wins a bet. So if my opponent wins a bet, he will normally get a first, he wins the bet probably because he got a set point. He gonna push his mental or whatever he does, and then after that, after he finish and he gets whatever he was betting for, you can play this. I can gain like 3 pushes to my side in mental power. So that's how the mental power works. And one more thing, if your mental power is all the way up here, you have a special ability. Whenever you're returning balls, so if my opponent send the ball toward me and I need to return it, whenever I roll a 5 or 6 and put it as my power, again, must be natural without influencing with tokens, I just get a point. Basically, I get 15 every time I do that. All right, now about these tokens, really important rule. You can only use them once per roll, meaning after you roll dice, you will either use a reroll or you will use a reflex token. But once you reroll them, you cannot use again tokens to continue rerolling them or continue changing their sides. So once you roll a dice, you can use one of these tokens and that's it. You have to take the second, whatever you do on the second roll, and that's it. Now, if it happens that you, let's say I roll doubles and play the card, let's say it's in the middle of the game and I play the card, and now I have to return the ball because doubles are only used, as I said, to play the card. If you're middle game, I continue. I have to roll dice again to see will I return the ball. If I roll doubles again I can play a card. But if not, if I change them in some bit, then nothing happens. All right, I hope that's instructional enough. And in the next video, I'm gonna play a game so you can see how everything works. And that's gonna be that. I'm probably gonna play a few sets and it's gonna be enough. All right, so thanks for watching and see you in the next video so you can see how the game actually works. Goodbye.